Recently, I was thinking about a mono green devotion deck because a Spectre of Hydra and a card that I discovered kinda recently, that is Nylea's Huntmaster. Together, they maybe can perform a deck that is very aggressive with those pump effects equal to your devotion to green, and with some trample creatures, you can just do a lot of damage. And this is basically a Elf package with the enchantments to ramp. Some of the drops from the 3 drops that I stock on the Grew ramp. Malevolent Rumble is a very strong card, and X-Born Hydra. Oops. And I play anti-lands because I don't want to play 16 or 17. I like to have 2 lands at least in my hand. And so 18s are a reasonable number. So it's a pretty stock list from the point of view of the Grew ramp. The strategy is just a aggro deck that wants to be aggressive, playing a ramp, playing a 3 drop or a 2 drop, and pump the creatures and attack. And Aspect of Hydra and Nalia's Huntmaster in this deck can like pump to few creatures like to +5, +6, even +7 or more. So it's really aggressive, really explosive. You're gonna see in the video. But why play Owlbear? That's a okay to good card, and not Avenging Hunter. That's a pretty much a all-star card. This deck don't keep ambulance well because you don't have removal. You only have Hydra. Oh, Jesus Christ! You only have Hydra to block flying creatures. You don't have removal. Only Lignify on the sideboard, but this is another purpose. So I need to have a creature that is like devotion and and also tramples and have a ATB because everything that has ATB, not Grog's Companion, but it's a cheap one that can be played on turn 2 and then turn 3 can be pumped with this guy just to attack for like 6 or 7 and start a good clock. So yeah, so we have our bear is just draw cards, also draws dice to Governing Blast, just like Avenging Hunter, tramples like Avenging Hunter, it's 5 mana and it's okay, and contributes more for the devotion. If you wanna really play Avenging Hunter, if you have a slow field, you can play Avenging Hunter in the sideboard. And this is the main deck, very simple. The sideboard is ordinary Disciple because it's devotion, of course, and it contributes very well for the devotion because it has two green mana symbols. Mana symbols, and Lignify, you can remove the Gutter Snipe, Cast Flame Briefer, Tireless Tribe, guys like big creatures like any creature that is too big for you to deal and to attack. Lignify is good, but the Glimmer also a staple like green decks, and sometimes you wanna deal with artifact lands, and also enchantments because boggles and like Journey to Nowheres or heroic, mono white heroics are very strong against your deck because they don't have much interaction. You can't interact with the creatures. So the game is nice to interact with the auras. And also, of course, the staple, the maybe the card that's then the you don't have another staple that is more staple than Relic of Progenitors. Just one of the best grave hits. And why play Lignify and not other card on the sideboard? And giving a problem that deck has with Grixis Affinity and Giant Wildfire. Because this deck is really weak to Karkion Shaman and Toxin Analysis. Just destroy this deck. That combo just wins this deck by itself. And we could be playing like natural obsolescences because they are 2 mana, they are the glimmers, they only hit artifacts, but they would have uh, they would make the sideboard with 7 land destructions to those bridges and every other artifact land. But I wanted to make a sideboard that's more like balanced, and so I just bring the Dignifies. But if you play against Affinity quite a lot, then you can bring even 4 copies of Natural Obsolences, and you can take out any one of those that are not that important to have 4 copies on the sideboard. So this is the deck. The gameplay is gonna be only one match, and it's gonna be against a mono blue terror. And if you wanna see more of this deck, and this is just a quick gameplay, one match. But this is a deck that I wanna be playing in more matches. And if you wanna see more matches of this deck, just comment below. And the deck list is gonna be in the description and in the comments. So let's now enjoy the match and let's see the gameplay. Mono Green Devotion and Peace Sprawl is a good start. We wanna be starting off with the Arbor Elf, but of course we don't. But we have the Peace Sprawl. That is a ramp. Gonna ramping us into the purpose. We could play the companion, but we spend the mana just like wasting mana. So it's better just to propose it. I think my opponent might be on Mono Blue Ferris or Mono Blue Terror. Let's see. I guess it's Terror. Yeah, it's Mono Blue Terror. Milling well. Just milling okay. 3 spells. Leap of the Dead. Maybe now we get a counter spell. I think we're gonna see a. We are likely to see a Fast Terror or Cryptic Serpent, and that's not good. I'm not gonna try to play a Hydra into a counter spell. I'm gonna try to fish a counter spell here, but I don't know. Let's see. Maybe we can play this Hydra on a moment that is okay. Spell Pierce is hmm, it's going to it's gonna pay. I'm gonna pay. I try to find a card here and Angel Thief. Don't need the land. Another Hydra. I guess we can get another Hydra because my opponent plays a Serpent now, tapping out maybe another spell on my end step, so it could happen. Yeah, I guess we're gonna see a terror. Consider my even put another spell in the graveyard, so he might be facing 2 terrors. He's taking time to decide, so he kept the card, so the card is good. Maybe even at Serpent, and now you're gonna face maybe no Serpent yet. 6 mana, no, 6 spells on the graveyard, so terror 1 mana and Cryptic 2 manas. Yeah, only 2 manas. 2 mana for a 6/5 is already unbalanced. Maybe I can make this propose 7/7, and this is bad. Although, yeah, another tough scour. Maybe he's trying to find a serpent, or maybe even if he casts a tolerant terror now, tolerant terror is not gonna threat me because I wanna play a Hydra. So my opponent tap out. This is telling me that my opponent doesn't have any serpent and any counter spell in hand because it should pass with a counter spell open if you have one in this situation. And you're facing potentially 7 mana and a Hydra. So yeah, I think my opponent doesn't have anything like neither or even spell pierce. This is a 8. My opponent's gonna have 2 turns because next turn I'm gonna have another Hydra. So maybe now he finds a Serpent. Okay, this Crypto Serpent is okay. Another Crypto, yeah, it's okay too because not actually this is not okay because I have only +3/+3. I can kill both of the serpents if I find one more mana because I need this creature to be at least 10/10 so we can attack. He's gonna block. I'm gonna take one. He can double block and just leave me with 5/6 Hydra and a 3/4 Hydra, which is already bad for him. But the 5/6, the 3/4 is totally imaginable because he can play another a 5/5 or another 6/6/5. But the 5/6 though, only if he's gonna just do this, taking 5. Yeah, now he's gonna start to attack me and do the Sleep of the Dead thing. But we have some creatures. We can play the Garruk's Companion and the Eldrazi Reproposer. Especially because my opponent is not gonna counter any of those. And the Reproposer leaves another token when he dies. So we can just jump with the Reproposer, or first of course, jump with the token the Reproposer is gonna make. So, um, and usually mono green or green strategies are kinda strong against the mono blue terrors, even mono blue fairies. I admit that if my opponent plays a terror now, things become kinda sketchy because he's gonna have a bunch of Sleep of the Dead activations yet because my opponent has 10 cards in the graveyard now with the Ponder. This is kind of dangerous, but not no tolerant terror now. It's a good thing, but I'm gonna play 2 creatures that are lethal attackers. Now I'm gonna play even more. No, 6 mana. I'm not gonna play the Karuk's Companion. I'm gonna play only the Joe Thief. Make it more mana. Now my opponent needs to Demon Fury, not Demon, yeah, Demon Fury is another card that's really bad because you're gonna, not that bad also. I guess the Sleep of the Dead is the best card now because Demon Fury, if he just send my Eldrazi to the top of my, just take off my Eldrazi, I'm gonna end up with those creatures on the board and my opponent has only 3 life. So it's gonna Sleep of the Dead here, of course. And if he attacks me, I'm gonna double block the Serpent. No doubt about it. It's just gonna double block. I'm gonna end up with another token, and my opponent's gonna need to. Oh, this is not valid. This is not good. This is not good. But those tokens, those Adraja tokens, is gonna buy me a lot of time to with jump blockers, and of course, this devil might be a problem because it can fly. So yeah, but my opponent's gonna put a lot of cards on the graveyard. Now my best draw is the aspect of Hydra, just to kill my opponent. Oh, this guy, I was forgetting about this guy. Okay, it's GG. This guy tramples. I guess it's GG, I don't know. Maybe I'm counting wrong. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus 9 attack here. No, it's not GG. My opponent can just blocks. If I attack with everything, my opponent block is not. It's 11, 12. He needs to block with two. Yeah, it's GG. I'm gonna side the relics in. I take out the. Hmm. I'm gonna be on a draw. I just need to get rid of like think heavy stuff. I don't know. Maybe one ramp spell. Even the draw don't need one of this. I think I'm gonna go like this. Maybe I just take out too high to a patch of Hydra. I don't know if my opponent's gonna have a spell pierce here or anything else. I think I'm gonna just play the Arbor Elf because next turn we're gonna have a Drowsy Propose and my opponent might just counter it with a counter spell, tapping out. And the mana we're gonna get from the Proposer casting ability, we can just cast a relic and just start to slow down my opponent. That's the game plan for the next turn. If my opponent does not counter the Proposer, I'm not gonna play the relic on the into the counter spell because terrorists can be pretty fast. So okay, this Arbor is kind of bad, but my opponent's not gonna counter this. Yeah, no way he's gonna counter. And since my opponent now can maybe he can accelerate. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, yeah. He had this spell piercing hand, I guess. Okay, my opponent doesn't have any creature. Or maybe my opponent has a counter spell in hand and the creature is Script Serpent, which is fine, I guess. But we're gonna attack with the Proposer first. And I believe I'm gonna touch with another Proposer. My opponent doesn't counter, it's gonna start to get to take a little bit of damage. And okay, I'm gonna level net rumble here. Not gonna play the. Oh my god. Okay. We just dump a bunch of land and another malevolent rumble. Not gonna. I could go for the relic, but my board state and my hand tells me that I can't deal with one or even two serpents for a bit of time, a bit of just buy some time to the serpents. My opponent is just you know just dumping a lot of cards in the graveyard, which I like. He's spending his hand. Now if he just lay down two serpents, he's gonna end up with four cards in hand, which I like. And that was not a problem. We have a Hydra. My opponent has a counter spell now, which I believe. At this point, I just want to resolve my Hydra. So I'm going to play the Relic. My opponent's gonna counterspell the Relic, and I'm just gonna play the Hydra. No, opponent just does not counterspell the Relic. So that is interesting. Opponent has four cards in hand, four lands, a lot of cards in the graveyard. So what opponent is holding? Maybe he doesn't have more creatures in hand. I'm gonna try to play the Hydra here. Hmm. Let's see what my opponent has. I'm gonna play for three. Not a proposer. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe this is a mistake. But you cannot spell. You cannot spell. I'm gonna have a 6/6. Yeah, he's gonna cannot spell. But it's kind of weird. It's okay though. I'm gonna correct the relic on his upkeep in response to his Delver. Okay, another ramp. This our game does not come very well. Hey, this is a serpent or a land, which is good for us. Deck that he this land was a top deck right now. I don't know. Okay, we're not gonna play anything else. We're gonna guarantee more mana, which is good. I'm gonna play another Proposer. This way we just keep drawing creatures and I'm gonna play the I'll play everything. No, I'm gonna just let this land in my hand. Now we have the problem here is my opponent having this devil to flip. It's gonna be really annoying because my opponent's gonna start attacking me. And he flipped in one of the best cards he could flip is a ponder. I would have to play that ponder first before attacking. But my opponent just did like this. He, he did not shuffle, so he drew one card with the ponder. Yeah, flooded, and this is bad because we draw like not we took from the deck two, six, seven, eight lands, and this is 18 lands deck. We only have 10 lands left in our deck, and 42 cards. My opponent is flooded because he's gonna keep attack with the devil, which is bad, but at some point we might resolve Hydra. Opponent cast two counter spells, right? It was only one counter spell. Okay. Opponent has okay. Mill two islands. This was a very good mill because now he can play any serpent and he just get rid of two lands. And here comes the serpent. Okay. And I think now it's time to resolve. Ugh. We're gonna play this and just gonna pop immediately because we just redraw. Ooh, aspect of Hydra. This is interesting. I guess we can attack because if my opponent blocks, we just aspect of Hydra. Maybe my opponent has a dispel. Maybe. I guess he's not gonna block. He knows I have a reason to do this. This spell is not a card that my opponent should have kept in the deck. That does not make sense, any sense, because magic for him. I do the Hydra, I just gonna be. Ooh, I do not have a to trample, so I'm gonna go for the token. Is that crazy? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. You're gonna token's gonna be 8-1. I do 8 damage, which is quite a damage. No, it's gonna be 7-1. The token is 0. I just forgot about that. It is okay. I was gonna take it, of course. But then next turn we can attack with everything. Opponent blocks the 4-3 and takes 9-10. And he's gonna attack with the Delver, I guess. If he attacks the Delver, he got another creature. Yeah, he got another creature. Maybe we just lose with this Delver, flying Delver. Builds are playing like um Vapor Snag. Luminari is playing. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is very bad. Okay, I can attack with everything. My opponent blocks one of those, takes. No, I cannot attack with everything though. My opponent needs to silver to dodge the great. He can have another one in hand. Yeah, I can see more draws. I can see can wait one more turn to do this. My opponent wants to, yeah. Now is a perfect moment to cast a Hydra. Unless my opponent had, oh no, this is really bad. Okay, but we have 8 life. Opponent might attack with both of the serpents also with the Delver. And now he attacks the Delver because we don't have a heat lethal. And maybe my opponent has a counter spell in hand and we just lose this game already and we don't know. Yeah, opponent's passing. And we just do blue deck. I don't want to flood as much and just draw a lot of those enchantments. We drew 2 Arbor Elves, 3 enchantments. Now it doesn't matter if my opponent has a counter spell in hand, of course. And then you just lose the to the top deck. A bit of crazy hand here, but it is okay. One moves to 6. We cannot play the Hunt Master on turn 2, buffing the elf to pumping the elf to attack because the elf is gonna be tapped. It's not gonna be attacked. No, point moves to 5, which is bad. At least they had a good game in 1 and game 2. If you win this game 3 because my opponent moves to 5 or even 4, it is it is sad, but this already happened to me, so I'm moving to 5 a lot. Okay, put my ponder now and leave us free to peace sprawl. Nope, that's okay. We have malevolent rumbles. I think I'm gonna get a spell pierced here. No one knew was even worse. Okay, we're gonna play the malevolent rumble then. Okay. Don't think this was maybe this was not a good idea. Maybe we can white growth, get the 4 mana, cast the Hunt Master. My opponent will not counter our Hunt Master. Maybe he's trying to find lands. I don't know. Yeah. Now, if my opponent has another, I know what is PAUPERs. This is going to be bad. Yeah, another unknown opponent. Okay, you got lucky there, but we also not bad. Yeah, my went rumbling. Hmm, which one I like? Gonna have another token. Gonna have 4 mana. Fight Angel Thief. You're gonna have 4 mana again. Can go this. Opponent has 3. I think we still need the Utopia Sprawl to ramp a little bit. Opponent will not cast that. 4 cards in hand, 3 on the graveyard. A land with a maybe. Okay, Delver. This is maybe my opponent side in 4 unknowns, but this is good. Okay, let's see what my opponent tells. Okay, this is good. Okay, so now I guess we just play this guy, pump on a 4 creatures here, just attack for a little bit of damage. He's not gonna block, of course, because the Delver is really important for him. Okay, so we're going to play the relic now. If my opponent wants to annul the third annul, okay, opponent does not have the third annul. Always spell pierce also will work perfectly. but no, it doesn't have it. Not gonna relic right now. Consider maybe I do on the upkeep. Let's see what my opponent's gonna have. Only 3 cards though. I'm not gonna do it on the upkeep. He just kept the card and drew the card. So the card might be a land, might be anything that he needs. Maybe a land. Yeah, land. Brainstorm. Opponent playing another Delver, which is okay. I guess I'm gonna pop this relic right now. Yeah, I'm gonna do this right now because I draw a card. Maybe I draw a land, which is good. Yeah, land is fine. Another relic. Hmm. This is okay, I guess. I'm fearing a spell pierce here. So 6/5 is not enough, I believe. Should I fear a spell pierce here? I think I should. My opponent's not gonna have it. My opponent's not gonna have the. Yeah, I think that he has a spell piercing hand. He just concede. Okay, GG's.